Hey, hey, Jason. So it's time for the standing series. So we're going to start with some shoulder tracing, which you know very well. So we'll do that starting upright, which will take into a standing decompression, which we're going to transition right to a founder with the bigger externally rotated shoulders. I'm going to keep you out of sphere of tension for this first part, keep you externally rotated and wide. I'm going to turn sideways to then go into forward fold, a supported forward fold, which I have set up with the pillow and the cushion over here. So that can be like a bed or a chair or something that you have as a surface. And then we'll move to the waffs, some standing waff organizing, which is pretty straightforward. You know those, you know them already. Then we're gonna go to split stance on the mini waffs, and then back to a founder. So it'll take about 5 to 6 minutes for the whole sequence. So anyway, here we go. So start standing with your feet hip width apart. Parallel the outside edges of your feet, heels with your pinky toes. Thumbs on the side of your body, get nice and wide. Think about decompressing your rib cage, get it nice and big. Trace up to your collarbone. Think about that flat line as much as possible. Elbows the leader and the wrist, because we don't want that broken wrist situation. Down, we'll do that 3 times. Opening up the rib cage in 360 degrees. Keep the abdomen engaged to support it. Number 3, rotate around. Come around behind the head. Pull it up. Pull your hips back and soften your knees. Now up here, if you can do sphere of tension and maintain external rotation of your shoulders, great. If you want to separate your hands here, more kind of like a chair pose, go ahead and do that, but just be conscious of your external rotation of your shoulders all the way down to your thumbs. I'm not sure if my thumbs are in frame, but I'm externally rotated. You're going to take 3 breaths there. I'm going to call that 3 breaths. Recollect your sphere of tension, bend from the elbows, back across the collarbone, trace all the way down, and that hinge is very subtle. It's just 2 to 3 inches. Unlock, take the arms out, externally rotate. Now we're going to go to a pure founder. We're going to do a couple integrated hinges. Hinge the hips back, reach forward, externally rotated, come back up. Hinge, reach back with the hips, forward with the arms counterbalance. 3 breaths. Use your exhale. Do your inner anchor here, so ball the foot to heel, ball the foot to heel, heel to heel. 1 more. And then we're going to go right into our forward fold, which is, nope, I'm sorry, come all the way up. Release that, go to a wider stance for your forward fold. I'm going to turn sideways. Be wider than hips for your first one. Start 2 to 3 inches back, externally rotate. Counter hinge, find your externally rotated shoulder, anchor in with your legs, and then take yourself down to your support, whatever your support is. I've got a couple different heights I'm working with here. Draw your abdomen in, open the thoracic spine, make sure your neck is in line, pull your butt back, hips back, arms forward. Make sure your neck maintains line with your spine. 3 breaths here. Bring your hands to your shins. Think about bringing your back flat. And when you come up from forward fold, you're coming up straight back. Anchor in, out to the side, externally rotate. Support yourself, external in the shoulders, anchoring in at the legs. Fold your arms to short wing. And let's just do 8 small integrated hinges, just to kind of loosen that up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that's your integrated hinges. Moving to a split stance position, we'll have the left foot to the front, right foot to the back, lunge decompression. Starting at the base of the rib cage, pinkies on the hip bones, elbows to the side. Apply your scissor. Arms to the side, scoop, externally rotate, take it up. If you can maintain external rotation of your shoulders, plenty of space between your neck, your ears, and your arms in external. Go ahead and close the sphere of tension. Just make sure you're keeping everything open at your shoulders. If that's difficult, just separate, keep the external rotation of the shoulders, that's the priority. 3 breaths in scissor. 50-50 is your weight here. 3 heel pumps. 1, 2, 3. Bring your hands to the height of your heart. Hinge forward to your woodpecker. Remember, your woodpecker, you need to be able to see out, so I can see you, obviously. Sphere of tension, open across the chest, no forward shoulders. Keep it wide. Anchored into your front foot. Knee over ankle, not to the forefoot, push down. 3 breaths, I'm going to call that 3 heel pumps. 1, 2, 3. Bring yourself back to standing decompression, lunge decompression. Float them down. Switch sides. Parallel outside edges of your feet. Scissor. You're set up your position. Arms out, externally rotate, scoop them up. Scissor. You have 3 breaths. 3 heel pumps. 1, 2, 3. Hold the scissor, float to the height of the heart. Bring it to woodpecker. 3 heel pump. 3 breaths. 3 heel pumps. 1, 2, 3. Reverse back to lunge decompression. Float your arms down. Release the position. Okay, so that's your first round, no waffs. Second round, up on the waffs. Hip width. Ooh. Okay, so we're up. Establish your balance. Remember, you're going to be a little bit more dynamic in your hips and your ankles. Out to the side. 3 motions. 1. So when you go, and I know you know this already, but when you go back, you're going to feel that big lift of the forefoot because your weight is obviously able to shift a little bit past a basic heel dominant position hold. If you can close, chest open, or externally rotated reaching. It's the counter reach you're looking for and the drop of the heel. In the abdomen at all times, of course. And all the way up. Forward fold. Now forward fold, you have to be mindful of your ankles because you're going to have the ability to press out into a supinated position. You're going to be thoughtful about that. So you're maintaining your anchor. Out to the side, externally rotate. Scoop it forward. Take it down to your support. You have your 3 breaths. When it's time to come up, transition back to your legs. Establish your balance on your waffs. Come up to the top of the knees. Arms to the side, externally rotate. Scoop it forward, 3 breaths. Into your short wing position, up 1. Whoa. 2, there we go, it helps if I can see. 3. 4, you can add the counter press of your arms. 5, that's what gives you your counterbalance. 6. 7, Jason, you can also add external rotation on those reaches. Thumbs out, thumbs in. Last one. Bring it all the way in. And step off your waffs. Okay, so obviously the variation there, you don't have to use the waffs for the forward fold. We've not done that together, but that's something you can play with if you want. Just be mindful of the supination. Before we go standing split stance, you're going to do your kneeling split stance. Press through your front foot. Active through your back foot, hands out to the side for stability. Press 1, release it. Press 2, release it. Press 3, release it. 3 up, 1. Switch. Active. 1, 2, 3. Transition. 1, 2. Sorry, it's a little bit forward, my bad. 3. All right, so there's your 3 there. For your lunge decompression series here, let's just do front foot only on the waff, back foot to the ground. Up, scissor. Front foot stable is your waff foot, back foot is your stable foot. Out to the side, scoop it up. Scissor, 3, 2, 1. Heel pump, 1. Whoa, get a good stretch here. 2, 3. Woodpecker. Make sure in woodpecker that you're really trying to pop the waff. Just don't hang out on top of it. I know you know better, but I'm just saying. It's a really good place to really activate the hip. 3 heel pumps. 1, 2, 3. Transition back. Vertical spine, 50-50 weight. Up with the arms, find your full lunge. Feel the application of the scissor from the back leg. Bring it down. Release, switching sides. Just as a reminder, if you're kind of losing your control here, just drop your back heel down. When the back heel is up, that's when the destabilization begins, really begins. Front, forward into woodpecker. Three heel pumps. 1, 2, 3. Transition back, 50-50. Find it. You got to use your front foot to make sure that happens. Front leg, truthfully. Up. Down, in, shake it off. Okay, we're going back to just your founder on the floor. No waffs for this. Just use all that information. So feet are width of the hips, parallel toes to the front, so heel and line with pinky toe. Lift up, hinge back on lock, externally rotate, anchor in. Feel the action of the adductors, pulling, pulling. Float the arms to the high position. Here's your last 3 breaths. Back to the height of your heart. Out to the side. Pull your hips in. Step your feet close side by side. Add a little external rotation of your shoulders. Lift up your chest. Pull your chin back. Trace up a little bit higher with your hands. Give yourself a front of the chest and shoulder stretch. 1 more.